Welcome to this week's episode of Full Contact Marriage. I'm Scott, this is my wife Stephanie, and we are going to talk about the things that couples talk about in sports. First thing, let's talk about the Jays. Jays are making their push. They got to win some games before Boston does, and hopefully they'll have a one-game playoff. What do you think about their chances of getting in?
I think the chances are fine. I think a big thing with any team, especially when you're already in the playoffs, your destiny is in your own hands. So really all they have to do is keep winning. And just, you still have to hope for other teams. So they have to hope for the Yankees to sweep the Red Sox, and then hopefully they can even move into first place. But I think they'll make it. I really do.
What about hockey? We got some stuff going on, little preseason stuff. We got Gaudreau holding out for his contract, and we have people asking to be traded. How do you feel about RFAs asking to be traded?
I don't mind them asking to be traded. And I get what Trouba's doing. I think that you screw over your team by doing that. And I get you're trying to leave, so I'm sure he doesn't care that much. But as soon as you put that out there, they're really held hostage a little bit more than they would if he hadn't have done that. But if you know that it's going to take that long to get traded and you want out of there, might as well put it out there.
So does it really handicap the owners? Because he's not playing for you, but he's also not playing for somebody else. He's a pretty decent player. And if he's on the opposing team or in your division because that's the only place you could go, does it really hurt you to have him sitting on the bench?
No, I don't think so. I don't personally know what the rules are, how long they can keep an RFA from signing anywhere. I'm surprised that no one else has come out and tried to offer him something. But then I guess the Jets can
match
it, and then he has to play there anyway, so then they'd have to trade it. So I guess...
So you match the offer and go and make him play in the AHL and be like a big F you to the player and kibosh that. Like, there's got to be...
That's what Drouin did.
Well, he just didn't go altogether.
Right, but I don't know if he asked for a trade, but...
Is it just me,
he
or
just didn't want to show up, so... Or he didn't show up to the AHL.
Is it just me, or does it seem like these guys have a sense of entitlement? Like, you finish off your contract, you don't want to go, you still show up to camp, but you tell them you want to be traded at that point. You give them a window to show people that you can still play. How do we know he's not hurt? Mm-hmm. How do we know that he can still fulfill his contract?
I think it's strange that if the only thing that he wants is to play on the right side and they won't let him, I think that's weird. I think there's something else going on.
Well, Winnipeg has a history of having issues with players wanting to leave.
I wouldn't want to live in Winnipeg in the middle of winter.
Yeah, but they're on the road for most of those games.
That's true.
The other thing that we'd like your input on is, at what point is a RFA no longer an RFA? When can he go out to the market? How long does that team own his rights? And at what point is he free from that? There has to be a timeline.
I don't think there is. I think there is, but I think the timeline is a lot longer than what you think it is.
Well, if anybody wants to weigh in on that, let us know.
There's the World Cup of Hockey going on. And Team Canada's in it against Team Europe for the finals. And it's a 3-game series to end this tournament, which I was not aware of until last week.
Until game 1.
The game 1 really just didn't have a lot of the anticipation.
Well, I don't think game 2 is going to have much either.
No.
I think there isn't many teams out there that can beat Canada 2 out of 3 games. Even a team like Europe or the U.S., Russia, anybody that they play, anything can happen in a 1-game series. You can have a bad penalty. You can clear the boards, throw the puck over the glass, get a stupid penalty, a bad bounce, bad calls. But a 1-game playoff, anything can happen. Mm-hmm. And I think it's much more exciting for a dominant team like Canada to play anybody else. You can't go 3 games.
I didn't think this was even really going to be a series or a tournament, and it really hasn't been. Canada's been so dominant, and I just think that they're going to come out. I think this was actually the worst game they played. I'm surprised they only got three goals. And not to take anything away from Team Europe. I think they're a great group of players, and I'm really glad that these guys who wouldn't otherwise get up to this high level in an international tournament, because they're only one of 2, 3, 4 guys on their team that is good enough to take on that kind of situation. I'm glad that they get that opportunity, but they're not going to win.
Not in 3 games. Well, that's it for us. If you guys have anything you want to see us talk about, any comments, let us know, and join us next week. We're going to shoot next week's On Location. You'll have to tune in to find out where that's going to be from, and we'll see you guys next week.